Um, a very good afternoon, all of you. And firstly, I want to congratulate all of you um, that you all have promoted in the class 12. Um, the time is very short, but we have to complete a large portion in class 12 for the history subject. We have to read three books that only based on Indian history. First book, Themes of Indian History, that is ancient Indian history, and the second, the Themes of Indian History, but two, that is based on medieval Indian history, and the last book, that is Themes of Indian History, but three, that is based on modern Indian history. And in political science, you have to read two books: Contemporary World Politics, and that is after the after the Second World War, the world politics since 1945, basically. The Cold War era, and after the Cold War, the political turmoil during the Cold War era, the causes, effect, etc., and decolonizations of the colony after the Second World War, and after Cold War era, after means after 1990s, the progress of world politics from bipolarism to unipolarism. That that is the main topic of this book. And another book is based on Indian politics after independence. That is the policies of Congress after the policies of Nehru, the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru 5 years plan, and the political reconstruction, the election system, the reconstruction of Indian polity, and the legacy of Jawaharlal Nehru, and the legacy of the British rule, the 200 years of British rule in India. And from that part, you have to read the latest, the formation of multi-party system, that is Gadfandhan ke Sarkar, from one party rule to multi-party system, the rise of BJP and the NDA, National Democratic Alliance, and rise of regional political parties, etc., etc. So in political science, you have to read these two books, and in history, you have to read three books. So we have to complete these five books within almost 5 months. Okay, let's start from the history. Before going to the chapter, I want to tell you something about the sources. Actually, in history, when we read history, or when we reconstruct the history, we have to learn about the sources. Sources means from where we find the history, from where we find the history, or from where we write the history. The historian write history from the source, by the use of sources. In Indian history, from ancient India, there are many type of sources, and firstly, that is material resources or material remainings. In material remainings, building material, remaining of the different types of buildings, bricks, inscriptions, coins, that is from material remainings. And another part is the literary sources. And literary sources, the historian divide the literary sources into two parts. That is what is indigenous literature, and the indigenous literature, also each historian divide this into two parts. That is ancient sacred books and historical books. Ancient sacred books. In ancient sacred books, the four Vedas, Rig, Samjaju, Atharv, and the epic, and the two epics, Mahabharata and Mahabharata, Puran, Upanishad. This is belongs to the sacred ancient Indian history text. And another type is historical text. The first historical book of Indian history, that is Raj Tarangini by Kalhan. This is the history of Kashmir. And after that, we can find various types of historical resources, like Manu Sanghita, um, and the different types of biography and autobiographies of different kings. And but last but not the least, the accounts of the foreign travelers like Portuguese, Dutch, uh, etc., etc. So these are the sources of Indian history, not for the ancient India, but for the ancient Indian history and medieval Indian history, and for the all for the modern Indian history. Okay. Um, the first chapter, our first chapter from the book, Themes of Indian History, part one, that is based on Harappan or Indus Valley civilization. Okay. Um, Tomorrow we'll start from this chapter, from the Harappan civilization. I hope all of you will be available in 6 p.m. sharp, 6 p.m. on Zoom app. We'll start our first class, online class. If you have any type of doubt, first I want to say, please go through the chapter. I say already sent you the PDF text of the chapter, and just go through the chapter and point out the doubts. When we discuss about the chapter, will just tell me the doubts. This is the only way, because in this situation. Okay. Be safe and stay at your home. Don't go outside. Okay. Thank you.